Hey there, welcome back to Sea Power. Operation Blockbuster is about to start. A powerful USSR surface action group has been detected approaching the GIUK gap. We are to take charge of Task Force 65.7 to locate and destroy it. Let's see what they have in stock. I hope I get an aircraft carrier. If it is going to be a powerful SAG, a surface action group, I suspect it might involve the mighty Kirov. So that's going to definitely warrant the deployment of an aircraft carrier, send out a couple of strike wings with A6s, send out an A6, or rather an EA6, and make sure that the enemy gets jammed, throw all the harpoons at it, and sink the Kirov. At least that's how I would typically do it in scenarios such as these. So let's see what the campaign has in store. That is not quite a Kirov, that's the New Jersey. Alright, at time 0 Zulu, satellite recon detected a USSR SAG centered on Kirov. There we go. Moving southwest. It's not that I've already seen the mission. It's that typically, if the game says, oh, there's a powerful SAG coming this way, it's Soviet. Yeah, there's a Kirov in there. Estimated to be traveling southwest at speed 20 knots, units were assessed to be attempting to force their way through the GIUK gap. Standing Naval Maritime Group 1 is ordered to proceed northeast at MCON and then locate and destroy the SAG. Task Force 65.7 is holding station 200 miles southwest of you. Advanced air elements are operating under your control. An anti-surface strike package consisting of two, there we go, jammers, 6 A7Es and 6 A6Es is preparing to launch from CTF 65.7. NATO HQ sends good luck. Okay, we got lots of ships already out here. Lots of ships. I suspect this might be our carrier group, although I can't really see it. We got a couple of F-14s capable of patrolling the area. What do we have directly under our control? An ASW bird somewhere in the clouds. I have access to the Sklina. The Sklina. The Sklina is a Cobham class patrol sub. Very quiet. Let's have you raise the ESM mast. I have access to the Stavanger. Stavanger is a Oslo class frigate. Okay. The interesting thing here is the standing NATO maritime group is a real thing. And is comprised of all sorts of different nations and their ships. So we're going to see all sorts of different ships take part in this formation, which is very interesting, because typically you don't see these Oslo-class frigates. They're only armed with Sea Sparrows, out to 10 miles, it's purely self-defense. Beyond that, they have the Penguin, out to 19 miles, and the rest of it is not that special. The Norvik is a second Oslo frigate. Then we have the New Jersey. It's an entirely different caliber, no pun intended. We have the Luchens, which is a German type Luchens class destroyer. Standard missile 1 medium range and harpoons out to 65 miles. The Rents, Oliver Hazard Perry, and of course the New Jersey with her loadout of Tomahawks. That's anti-ship missiles and land attacks and 16 harpoons. Of course, we're not really going to be relying upon those too much. Here's the Kirov, already launching a helo. Sklina is only 17 miles out, but her torpedoes have a range of 10. So I might be 10 miles or 17 miles out, but I need to get closer. I'm assuming everything here is not my friend, because it's sheer proximity to the Kirov. And if I want to launch a torpedo, I'm going to say, yes, I might have 10-mile range, but effectively, I'm going to send it out only when I get closer. So, what I want to do is see where these things are going to end up. Because the Kirov was heading west at about 12 knots. So, they're going to be taking about 2 hours to get there. At my speed, I'm going to take 4... No. It's a distance that I don't fully need to cover. Let's say I want to cover half of it. And I'm doing 2 knots, so I need to increase speed to ahead 2/3. We're going to go and do that. So we're going to go below the layer, or actually above the layer, and go ahead 2/3. Ordered speed 4 knots, that should put me in line with that formation. And I have seen that these anti-surface warfare torpedoes are very capable weapons. They've already served me excellently once. Now then, I have access to Bear 1. That's an AWACS bird. That is probably the one who's currently doing the radar detecting on the Kirov. Yep, confirmed. And so is the SH-711. That's the helo here. Wait, what exactly are you? You're just a sea sprite. But you're like a stripped down sea sprite. You only got drop tanks. So you're in ferry mode. That's what you're doing. You're in ferry mode. Interesting. Okay, let's have you chat up some of these contacts here. No response. The MV Bungaraya does not respond. It's a merchant though. Okay, what are you? Agrees to comply. Not responding. Okay, so supposedly we have, I suppose, this very large contact being an aircraft carrier. Which is... Oh, I can actually see a tail rotor there. Which is actually sending out an A6 package. And I'm going to wait for those. I am not very interested in trying to pursue all of those units. Oh great, they got a 295. That might mean I am already detected. If these boys detect me and start popping their missiles, this is going to be pretty dangerous, because I'm not sure if I can detect them in time. Especially not with all my radars offline. As for offensive capabilities, I have the Rents with her harpoons, I have New Jersey with harpoons, I have Lutyens with harpoons, Narvik has penguins, Stavanger has penguins, which really mean you gotta get so close to the target that is entirely unfeasible. And New Jersey has Tomahawks. These things can fly out to 243 miles. And as such might be useful. I'm going to try and get a hit on the lead contact here. And distract everybody else with a couple of Tomahawk land attack missiles. If this is your first time seeing this particular move, it's used as a distraction. These Tomahawk land attack missiles are valid targets for the AI. They are also valid targets for my air defense were they to come to me. So what I'm going to do is throw a bunch of missiles at these targets. Let's see how fast they travel. I think it was 550. And these things are same speed, 550. Okay. They are presently 70 miles out. So we need to do some calculus. Looking at a speed of at a range of 72 miles divided by 550 is 0.13. So do that times 60, and if I'm not wrong, it's going to take them 7 minutes to get there. Because 550 knots divided by 60 means they travel 9 miles in a minute. So they're going to be there in 7 minutes. Correct. Right, with that information, I need to now plot where this thing is going to be in 7 minutes. Which is pretty easy, because it'll have moved out by a mile, as it's doing 6 miles an hour. So I'm going to say the missiles are going to be hitting right around here. That's my target. Alright, let's see if that's actually going to play out, as I have imagined. I'm going to send Tomahawks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6. Wait for those things to get released. And then after those missiles have moved on... Actually, let's send a few more. 2, 3... And then I'm going to send a couple of actual killers. Make it 2 salvos of 2. So what's going to happen... These missiles, these land attack missiles, they're typically harmless against other ships. But if they don't find anything and they just get shot down, that's exactly their role. If you do use them in this role, sometimes they tend to dive right around the point where you want them to go. And they sometimes end up hitting a warship. It is known to happen. Now, I'm going to target this unit specifically because it is pretty far away from the Kirov. The Kirov might try to help out, but most of the time, with missiles flying this low, you're going to have a very hard time getting your fire control radar to actually engage those. So that means this large contact is going to get engaged and possibly sunk right as the first casualty, which would then open up the way to attacking the other ships, ideally with greater ease. What would make everything even easier is having access to a couple of jammers. So EA6, but at the moment I don't have those. Victory 1-4, leave this formation. I have something else in mind for you. Not responding. 4-5-8. Possibly neutral air unit. Most likely civilian plane. Not that big of a problem. Not that worried. Alright, you are doing 4 knots. You are electric, but you got 100% battery left. So in 1 hour, we can expect you to have traveled about this far. I'm going to move that slightly. And then from there, I can engage out a bit farther. Yes. Okay, this is all going quite well. This is all going quite well. We're going to time accelerate a bit and see what happens with those land attackers. If my calculus is actually lining up.
Contacts detected. Track 7002 is classified.
It's an Udaloy.
Hostile warship.
Those are pretty damn capable at defeating missiles. Standing Naval NATO Maritime Group 1. Strike packages fielded and armed, standing by to launch in your command. They standing by to provide assistance. Does that mean I control?
Multiple surface contact.
Yes. Eisenhower. Gentlemen. We have... Huh? That's all. Okay, fine. It's not a whole lot. I'm not sure where the other 70 planes are at, but we'll just have to make do. Harpoons. Harpoons, harpoons. Give me all the birds you got. We're going to go 2 flights of 3. Anti-ship heavy confirmed. As for the rest, I don't really know if I need an S3. Something I'm not actively doing right now is ASW. Let's have the Wrens launch their Sea Sprite. Udaloy is using radar. These guys are detected on my radar. In case you're wondering, how do you know they're using radar? 2 things. 1, I'm seeing E. So that's their emission. I'm detecting their emission. And 2, I'm seeing all these radars actually turning. This is the Udaloy engaging the land attack missiles, which is fine. Because the actual killers are trailing. So let them get distracted. They're actually speeding up a little bit, which is fine. Because the Udaloy was running behind schedule. 1 has been intercepted, that's fine. You can have that one. There we go. It's the VLS mode of the Udaloy going into full effect. Deck is getting kind of obscured by smoke there. They'll probably intercept the whole bunch, but that's fine. I just need to get this thing out of action, because once that Kirov comes into play, that gets more dangerous. Oh, please don't change course. No. These Tomahawk anti-ship missiles have decided to start thinking for themselves, and they're now actually going after the Kirov. That was not part of my plan. Not at all. Okay. Well, at least the Udaloy will have wasted some of its missiles. And they don't have an infinite amount, so I guess that helps. But, you know, these 4 anti-ship missiles are a bit of a waste. I should have told them to actually target the Udaloy as opposed to just send them out in this general direction and let them start picking out their own targets. There's 1 intercepted. Rook 1. What's your jam range? I imagine it's not about 210 miles. Not even close. Alright. Get over there. go to 3,000. Lizard 1 coming off the deck. Lizard 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to wait for all of those A6s to come up, and then we're going to punch them. We got 2 missiles still active. Soviets are throwing a lot back at it. I mean, it's fair, because if they don't, they're going to have a sizable hole in their ship. 1 missile remaining. It's just not a whole lot that this 1 missile will achieve. It's just going to be a question of when they shoot it down, not if. There, it even got distracted by the chaff. Who needs missiles anyway? Actually, if that thing hadn't been distracted by the chaff, it might have gotten a kill. It was even going for the Chilikin, the fleet auxiliary. And it probably would have had it as well if this thing hadn't actually intercepted it. Oh well. We have more options. Alright. Lizzie's 1 through 6. Ready? Let's go on target. We're going to go here. And the other lizard flight's going to go southeast. I'm going to have the other EA6 up as well. I'm going to do a simultaneous 2-area attack, so attacking from 2 directions. One's going to come in from the north, one's going to come in from the south, but they both need a jammer. Otherwise, this is just not going to be as effective. I am looking to engage the Kirov ideally. The Udaloy might get taken care of by the Sklina. So I don't need to worry about her as much, but the problem is she might actually intercept a whole bunch of missiles. So yeah, she is a bit more of a target than I'd like her to be. But sending a whole strike after her feels a bit overdone. As for the A7s, I don't really like the options that I have, except for the Shrike. So I'm going to send up a wing of 4 A7Es with Shrikes to try and knock out enemy radar installations, making interception of missiles that much more difficult. Victory 4 in the meanwhile is going to go bypass everything and shoot down the Tu-95. Something I wasn't doing was ASW, so let's get to work on that. Haven't heard anything about submarines, doesn't mean they're not there. Let's see. 2 miles, 3 miles, 9 miles, it's fine. I can spread them out a bit more. There. Okay, and now we wait. A little later, I feel it's time to turn off the lights on the Soviets. So, I have an AIM-54, and we're going to send that after that Tu-95. If that doesn't work, falling back to Sparrows, but I think this missile will do it. In the meanwhile, we have deployed a nice little sonobuoy screen for our surface group. I'm going to tell the surface group to head 1/3. I have Victory 1114. I'm going to detach Victory 3 from that. And we're gonna splash a few helicopters around here, because the Soviets have an operating helo, and my submarine is getting uncomfortably close to one of them, so some of these will have to get cleaned up. This, however, is not the loadout I would pick for my Tomcats, because I typically prefer them to have 4 AIM-54s as opposed to just 1. Oh well, we'll just have to make do with the loadout we've been given. Ideally, though, I will use 1 Phoenix and then send this thing back to the carrier to rearm, because I am very much uninterested in trying to get it shot down, having to go in with a couple of AIM-7s. That is not my friend. Where are you, Victory 3? Activate air search. We need to get a high-definition track on that. Drop tanks going off as well. There's the missile. Now, regarding the other birds, I'm going to just disband the whole part. Vic 2 is going to take up the other K-27, and Vic 1 is going to go northeast and take out the guy there. So I can already task you with going after that kill. And here is Vic 2. You're not friendly. Especially not if you're going to be capable of detecting my surface group and throwing all that radar data back to your mothership, which is either the Kirov or one of her friends. Either way, it's not going to be pleasant for me, so they all need to go. In the meanwhile, that Tu-95 actually managed to shrug off that AIM-54. You send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second missile as well. The one's going to go for the decoy if there, the other one is not. And then this Victory 4 is going to go back in order to restock. This time coming back with the intercept loadout, not the, what do they call it? The medium air-to-air loadout or something? At any rate, this thing needs to die. I wonder if there's a submarine about. I kind of doubt it at this point. There we go, one of them is done. I kind of doubt it at this point. Lizzie 1's a bit far south, but in range. I'm first waiting for Rook 2 and Seed 1 to get here. We also have the other boys, which are coming here. Okay, Tu-95 is done for. I cannot order you to go back to base. Oh, okay, fine. Orders. Rebase. Go find yourself an aircraft carrier to land on. There. And that leaves me with Victory 3. That's 7035 done. We got a nice little helicopter down there. Kill tracks. So that's 4 aircraft eliminated in quick succession. Keep Victory 1s and 2 up here. Victory 3. New order. Rebase. If you don't have a base, we'll assign you a base. And you can go back to said base. Alright. In the meanwhile, Seed 2. This is my suppression of enemy radar operating aircraft. Kind of waiting for Rook 1 to get a little closer, so I can have you use offensive ECM, but you'll have to definitely get closer. We're gonna have to get the whole package to about 1,000 feet. Once we're there, we're gonna wait for Rook 1 to provide enough ECM interference. Damn it, there's another one. 60 miles out. Victory 1, your target. Don't exactly know where the guy is, but we can find out. He's hovering... Well, he's not really hovering, is he? 985 feet up. Rook 2, that's the other electronic warfare bird. You're gonna have to get in close, my friend. 1,000 feet. Seed also needs to get closer. The thing is, they're not actively using radar anymore. It's kind of annoying. I'm going to shoot both the Udaloy and the target behind it. What's going to happen is this. They will at some point figure out that they're under attack. Once they figure that out, they're going to probably turn on their radar. And I'm going to promptly turn it back off, using the suppression of enemy air defenses birds here. That's the guys with their strikes. So, in order to get my strike off, I need to maximize the efficiency of electronic warfare, getting close, and I need to have a bit more clarity on the map, if you will. I'm going to say this one's going to have a, I don't know, 45-mile radius. The other one's going to have a 45-mile radius to the south. Then I know where to park my birds. I know I got 65-mile range, but whatever. I want you to go here. I want you to be in range there. I want you to go here. And C2 to get in line there as well. I want Rook 1 to get in line there as well. Alright. Aim 7 should splash the next K-27, which is using its radar. I wonder if we're going to see the Soviet ships turn their radar on, now that most, if not all, of their aerial observation units have been... Well, not all of them. Most of their aerial observation units have been destroyed. Vic 2, you're getting a bit too close there for my liking. This is not safe. We're not going to do that. Too dangerous. Victory 4, conquering hero, took down the Tu-95, going back to base. Should stay well outside of the AA bubble of these ships. Kirov has the 50-mile range, which should put you slightly safer. Come to think of it. I'm actually too close already. Because if I approach to 45 miles, it is possible, if you're flying high that is, for the Kirov to shoot you. So, we're going to start popping up. You're going to engage the Udaloy. You're going to engage whatever that second thing is. We just need to wait for Rook 1. Hold your position. Speed up. If that helicopter is going to make a mistake by moving forward too far, and I think it will, I can easily engage that with another Tomcat. Udaloy is now getting jammed. They have their radar on. Vamp. Shit. We got SSN-19s coming in. That's not great. We're gonna retest that what do you call it? Electronic warfare option. Because I suspect that my ships, which aren't all that capable of defeating a couple of incoming missiles, are gonna be hard pressed to defend themselves against this, especially as some of them haven't even unmasked their launchers yet, which are on the stern. So the Kirov's at it, huh? That's your missile. Oh, she's not done, I think. There's probably more out there. Rook is following those missiles in. I'm in an awful position to be jamming this particular unit. Because yes, I'm jamming it, sure. But the problem is now, I don't really have the right angle. I'm kind of jamming them from behind, which means I'm probably not shining my radar into, or my electronic warfare into the eyes of the radar. Somehow, though, this missile is still considered jammed. So, let's not wake these boys up too much. Hold. Wait for Rook 1. As long as that Udaloy is active with its radar, we're gonna make sure that she gets a couple of high, what was it? Harm? Anti-radiation missiles. Oh, brother, for your sake, I hope you don't actually kill that merchant. We have the Rents engaging. Let's throw air search. There it comes. Flight of at least 3 missiles that we know of. Missed the first. The problem is that this ship can barely defend itself. So I think it's time to start sending Tomahawks after things before I lose the opportunity to do so entirely. Oh, here comes the rest. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Send the whole spread out towards the Kirov. Intercepted. No, we didn't intercept it, actually. I bet this thing would love to take a bite out of my battleship. And it most likely will. We do have it jammed, still. You can see that this weapon, the SSN-19, has its own defensive jamming. So it's actually jamming my AA missiles. It's throwing them off. There's the Happy New Year spread from the battleship. Come on, New Jersey. Throw out your missiles. Target. Shit. Well, moderate damage. Could have been a heck of a lot worse. I mean, this wasn't pretty by any stretch, but it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Also, there's more of those bastards coming in. Seed 1. Engage. Rook 1. Reposition there. They don't have their radars on yet. This guy does. Okay, new plan. C2, fly in low. 50 feet. Make that 300 feet. Seed 1. You're going to take out the other one. Fly low. 300 feet. You're going to jam this right here. You're going to jam the Udaloy. You're going to fly in low. We're going to start kicking out radars. And then the harpoons are going to come in. The harpoons are traveling at 540. These missiles are a heck of a lot faster, but my birds are not. I think we can start launching. Alright. Let's go do it. I'm going to send everything against this target here. 7004. Shit, there's the rest of the SSN-19s. Lizzie 4. Salvo everything. Target Udaloy. Lizard 1 is actively engaging. RTB. How many? Jesus. Okay. That'll be an interesting experience. Now, do I go for jamming these missiles? Or do I go for jamming my own attack? Like my own strike? It's a difficult question. How is the battleship? Cooked. She's not dead. But I've seen her in better days. Okay. Is your CWIS operational? It is. Good. Based on the speed of my missiles, I'm thinking it might not be that useful to try and jam my own missiles. Or at least the approach of my own missiles yet. So, to that end, I'm going to jam these. Don't know if it'll be effective, but at the moment, it's, I think, the safest play, and I can always change my jamming later. These guys are almost in range. I'm going to send everything against Udaloy. What's the plan here? 1, 2, Seat 2. Stand by. Seat 1. Shrikes out. Salvo 4. Target 7004. Shit, there's more SSN-19s coming in. Missiles away. That is all missiles away. Stand down. Wait for further orders. Oh! Okay, who killed you? That was contact 7020. That was a Soviet spy ship. I'm not even sure who killed that. But somebody definitely hit it. Might have been one of their shipwrecks. The SSN-19. Kirov, stop! I know what you can do, and I don't like any bit of it. Oh, it's a Sovrameni. Okay. Now, first we're going to see missiles going in at the Udaloy. SAN-3s are sent to engage the Shrikes, but the Shrikes are pretty fast at 13 to 1400 knots, so they might be difficult to intercept. Especially as the Udaloy is also getting blinded. Guns going at it. Keep in mind, it's a two-stage attack. These first anti-radiation missiles are not supposed to kill the target. They're supposed to blind the target. They're supposed to knock out the radars. There's a hit. Might have knocked out their fire control radar, because that fire control radar is looking at the wrong site now. Here. Missed. The other one? Also missed. Well, that's unfortunate. So I think the Cresta came off free. Without a hitch. Unfortunate. Rook 1, actively jamming. Sovremeni and Udaloy, Kresta, Kirov and Chilikin.
On station.
I am very concerned about the New Jersey. I don't think she's gonna survive. That's why I've expended most of her ammunition already.
6, 5.
What's the range against Udaloy? 55 miles. Oh. Okay. Even against the Kirov, I have range. Marginally. At 0.03 miles, but I have range. Send everything.
Bulldog away. Track
Before you're not able... Oh, good lord. Haha! She might be battered, but she's not dead.
7, 0.
There you go.
7, 7.
Okay, so now we're engaging 3 ships. And we are under attack from their missiles. Where's Rook? Rook, you're actively jamming that. Rook 2, start jamming in this general direction.
0, 0.
Again, the bird's not in good position, but it's the best position I have at the moment.
Roger. Turn.
Because I'm also hoping that I can still have some useful jamming against the Cresta.
6, 0. New.
As far as I know, you cannot actually jam your own ships, so that shouldn't be a problem.
On station.
Alright, I still got seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4 available to go in with cluster bombs, which is a bit of a last resort option, but it can work. They're now starting to intercept my Tomahawks. That's the land attackers that they're working on.
On station.
Which means that they're going to have less attention available to deal with the incoming anti-ship missiles. Both the Tomahawk anti-ships and the anti-ship harpoons. Here it comes.
Track 7, 0, 7.
They're flying very high up. Maybe because they're getting jammed, they're trying to look for a target and not finding anything. There's a lot going on. I'll try to cover as much as I can. Relocate that ECM a bit farther west.
8, 4. Multiple hostile
Yeah, we're jamming all of them.
contacts detected. Contact faded. Track 7, 0, 8, 2. Birds away. Track 7.
The problem is there's a lot of EM interference from both sides. I'm doing my jamming against them. They're doing their jamming with their missiles against me.
Helo.
We have intercepted 1 shipwreck. Well done, Lucians. Now just shoot everything else down if you can. I don't think we can send these missiles fast enough. Stavanger. Yeah, you're out. This is why I hate the Sea Sparrow. It takes 30 fucking minutes to reload. I don't have 30 minutes. I got about 30 seconds. These things are still getting jammed. I'm not sure if they really care. We have intercepted a bunch of shipwrecks with the standard missiles and some with the Sea Sparrows.
Birds away. Track 7.
Narvik, reloading. Lucians. Firing as fast as possible. They're not locking onto Stavanger here. Stavanger's trying to follow them around with their 3-inch gun.
Birds away. Track 7, 0, 8,
Okay,
4.
how are we doing on our attack versus them? This Udaloy is getting missiled by about 2-mile range. Seawiz is active, but I think their fire control radar, I think this is their main fire control radar, it's been destroyed.
Surface.
Which is why, in tandem with the jamming, they're having an incredibly hard time actually getting a missile to shoot. And that means this thing is probably done for.
Contact
In the meanwhile, the Kirov is probably busy trying to fend off the attack against the land attack missiles,
away. Track
and the Tomahawks, and the anti-ship missiles, which have decided to bypass the Cresta.
Vampire.
New Jersey's been hit.
9.
Oh, and you're about to get hit again, my friend. Yeah, that'll be it for the New Jersey. What the hell? You've been hit by 2 shipwrecks. They definitely changed the damage control model. Flooding, slight. Damage, moderate. You've been hit by 3 smooth criminals. No, you've been hit by 3 shipwrecks. This thing is about to have a serious problem. Come on. She's got missiles coming in from two different vectors. Udaloy's been destroyed. Yeah, you're done. Desperately throwing Sea-Wiz at it. There you go. Kirov destroyed. Job done. Okay, so that's the Udaloy out of commission, the Kirov's out of commission. That leaves a Crest 2 and a Sovereign Many. Unfortunately, I have 16 more harpoons going towards the Kirov. If she sinks fast enough, the harpoons are going to have time to acquire a different target. But I rather doubt it. Because they got about 27 miles to fly. They fly 550 miles. So... yeah. Unless this thing sinks real fast, I don't think she's actually going to go and have these harpoons acquire something else. Bit of a waste of good harpoons. New Jersey thankfully got her missiles away and was instrumental in killing off the one that killed her. But she paid the price. She's no longer here. That leaves the Lutyens as the new commander of standing NATO Maritime Group number 1. Right, so where does this leave us with the rest? Lizards are going back home to resupply. I still have missiles in the form of harpoons here. That's 16 of them. And between those, I think I can finish off the 2 survivors and then cluster bomb the Chilican. I think I might be able to do that. So let's put some hefty jamming on these. And I'm going to try and have everything work in tandem here. So I'm going to line all my aircraft up. We're going to attack from one big push. My missiles are going to try and strike first, and while they're busy striking my missiles, my planes are going to come in with their cluster bombs. And those Rockeyes, well, I've seen them hit very, very, very hard. And wipe a ship off the map almost in one go.
Track 7100.
Huh, you still got helos? Okay, fine. Now, is that thing dead yet? Yeah, dead it is, but sunk? No. And unfortunately, once the harpoon's in the air, you can't actually talk to it. Come on, sink, you bastard. You've been hit hard enough. She's still throwing up a massive radar profile. Yeah, all of these harpoons are gonna eat it. Should have sent 8-8. Would have been a better distribution of weapons, but okay, fine. It's gonna be probably 14 missiles or so, assuming that the Sovereign Many and the Cresta shoot some down. But I think they're having a bit of a hard time doing that. Whee! Yeah. So they all splashed into the water because they couldn't find the side of the Kirov. Because it was submerged. Oh well. Right, next attack then. Lutyens. How many launchers you got? Singles, right? Yep. Right, that means you're just going to start single filing these harpoons. All of it onto the Sovereign Many. And on the other side, the Renz is going to start single filing everything onto the Cresta. I still have the submarine here as a sort of secondary option. Need you to jam Sovereign Many. Need you to stand by, stand by. Your range is still 11 miles. But the Soviets are continuing undeterred, so they might actually run over the Sklina if I just give them enough time. I think if you really want to, you can complete the mission with one submarine. You can torpedo the Udaloy, you can torpedo the Cresta, you can torpedo the Sovremeni, wait for the Kirov to come in, send that 2 or 3 torpedoes and be done with it. You might not need to risk the whole formation, you can just push the standing NATO maritime group back and kind of wait for them to, well, to be safe, if there is such a thing, or at least minimize their chances of detection, so that you'll still have plenty of harpoons left if the Sklina somehow fails. For now, though, I think the Sovremeni and the Cresta are going to have a bit of a problem on their hands, because they're getting heavily jammed. Need to wait for at least some of these harpoons to get here. What I'm trying to do here is blend my aircraft into the attack. There. They're going for the Cresta. Unfortunately, I cannot tell the cluster bombs to go in one by one, so it's going to be dumping everything. I guess they're picking up survivors from the Kirov. So for many shooting. I'm going to split you off. You are going to go for the Sovremeni. You are going to go for the Chilican. Oh, 1 harpoon is locked onto the Chilican. Nice. Seat 1, go for the Cresta. Execute. And we already got a diving missile. That means that this Cresta, shooting back at it as best as she can, with Sea-Wiz almost vertically. But that's a hit. That's going to minimize her effectiveness against further missiles. We are getting jammed on this harpoon. Yeah. Active sonar ping there. C2 is going to have a very interesting fly-in. Oh, 2 harpoons have decided to go for the Chilican. Okay, in that case, I might not need to get Canyon 4 to go after it. You've not been hit yet. Yeah, you're pretty much gone. So, can we get this missile to connect? Go in, go in, go in. Yeah, we can't. Canyon 3-1. No! That was not part of the plan. Sovremeni was able to shoot that down. I should have waited for one of those missiles to get in. Missile's not eating chaff. There's another missile going in. Ah, come on! Chilican hit.
7005.
Disband. New target, Canyon 1. Change your course. Canyon 2, maintain attack against the Cresta. Another harpoon going in, pop-up phase. Canyon 4 following closely behind. It's my A7. Diving. Come on, get a hit. We've hit. Canyon 1 has a missile inbound, that's fine. It's unpleasant, but, you know. Oh, you're dead. Okay. Canyon 2. Carpet bomb. Yes. That ought to do the Cresta in. And I think the Chilican over here is also having a bit of a rough time with everything. We still have more harpoons going in. Sovremeni's toast. We still got 6 more cluster bombs standing by. Canyon 2. Oh, you didn't throw away your weapons. Okay, Canyon 1. Using all of these cluster bombs against one target's a bit overkill, but whatever. Who cares? That's a nice shot, actually. Did you not use it? Wasteful. Whoa, you're still getting shot at, dude. As much as this thing's jammed, it doesn't really seem to care about that. Go for the Cresta. you're getting shot at by these side mounts. Hit. I don't understand why they're all going for the Chilikin. What's so interesting about a sports ship? Pop up. Cluster bombs definitely don't care about your chaff. Oh no. Yep, please drop everything. Is that it? No. Did they change the efficiency of cluster bombs against ships? Because this used to kill aircraft carriers in one go. And now I'm not seeing it kill a Cresta in 2 runs. So what's going on here? Unexpected outcome. Chilikin's goner. Just picked up the survivors from the Kirov and now she's done too. She's still shooting! What the hell? Yeah, we've hit him alright. I could have told you that, but the question is, why are you not dead? How much damage control you got? When in doubt, go again. Canyon 4, you got cluster bombs. I got targets. I think we have a deal. Go in there. Strike him again. I am gonna have everybody strike this thing almost at the same time. I hope I don't accidentally get friendly fire, but we'll just see if that's even possible. Can we see the A7 come in? Yeah, that's looking like an interesting picture. Now they're done. That's the first 2 attacks. Then comes the next one, Canyon 4. 1. 1? 1. Ah, I guess that'll be that. Assess that all Warsaw Pact forces have been eliminated. We are scrambling all MPRA assets to search the area for remaining vessels. Full report to come in 12 hours, but assess that victory is ours. Done. When in doubt, just cluster bomb them again. That was it for the campaign, at least the first campaign. I really enjoyed it. I really liked playing this one, and I look forward to seeing the next campaign. After this one, we're going to go back to the Red Horizon campaign that I was still doing, and after that one's done, well, we'll see what comes next. If you have any suggestions, post those down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for more Sea Power.